the first thing you got to do whenever you want to create videos is you've got to get out of your own head. I think Little John says it best in his song, Get Out of Your Mind, but I didn't want to break any copyrights, so just a little bit of beat in the background. Plus, we can't play too much of that song because, I mean, this is a school friendly environment and some of that language is not. But you've got to get out of your mind. You've got to be comfortable with making videos. And I know that sometimes that means that you have to kind of walk into it. And you might not be able to make a video that is very long at first because of your insecurities or because of your fears, but I guarantee that once you get familiar and comfortable with it, you're going to love it. So I have a GIF here, a little GIF video image here of a kid, and he thinks that he can make that shot. He thinks that that goal is way shorter or that he is way taller, one of the other, or he just doesn't care. We have to be kind of like that kid, and then we have to also be a little bit like Mora. Oops, I went too fast. We have to be a little bit like Mora, and we have to have courage when we create video. My insecurity, of course, has always been kind of my accent. And I know that makes me who I am. So when I started to embrace that and bring it into my videos, it just helps. I know I can't really get rid of it. Next, after you have your courage, and even if it's just to make a 30-second video, you have to have a plan. You've got to develop your plan. First of all, know it is okay and there is nothing wrong with using pre made video content from reputable sources. And I promise I'm going to have these slides linked so you won't have to like try to find all of this on your own. But here are some of my favorites to go find resources and videos on. We have KET's Library Media, or not library, but their media center. And there are tons of wonderful lesson plans and content on there. So I'm going to click on it and it's going to open in a new tab and it's going to load. All right. So here are tons of videos and lesson plans for all grade levels, for all subjects that you could ever imagine. And you can also search by standard. So, just kind of like any other search and database that you want to look for, you can find your standards there. You can also look up keywords. But there are so many wonderful things. And like I said before, there's a ton of lesson plans as well. So get on there and play around with that. The next one that I have listed here, you might recognize this symbol because I think it's widely known now, and it's Khan Academy. And sometimes when we think of Khan Academy, we think of math. And it's true that Khan Academy was created for mathematics. However, there are a ton of resources on here that pertain to more than just math classes. So if you click on courses, you can see that there are more than just math. Let's see when it loads. There we go. So you have math through 8th grade and getting ready courses for students that are going from one grade to the next. Hello, summer school people. You might be able to find some resources there. High school, there's test prep. If you know anybody that's going to be taking one of these tests, especially this praxis core for our teachers or students going in to be teachers. There's tons of science videos and content there, computing, arts and humanities, economics, reading and language arts, and life skills. So if you've never checked those out, I highly, highly, highly recommend that. And I know I'm going through these kind of fast, but if you are interested in learning any more about these, like if you need a deeper dive into any of these certain platforms, let me know and I will be so happy to help. I think this one just kind of speaks for itself. YouTube, you can go there and search for anything and find videos. Just make sure you watch them first because some kids are sneaky and they take educational videos and they sneak in random voiceovers and inappropriate pictures and stuff like that. So if you use any videos from there, just know that that can be a factor to watch out for. TeacherTube is very similar to YouTube, except these videos are a little bit more secure whenever you're trying to find content. So it takes out all of the bad stuff from YouTube and it's only about content. So that one's pretty cool. And then finally, last but not least, we have National Geographic, and that one's just a great resource for science and social studies teachers to find videos and content. They've also got some lesson plans on there and just some images. If you're not really looking for a video, you've got all of that. So those are just a few of my favorites. Of course, there's tons and tons more places that you can find content, but it's okay. However, sometimes your students will engage and interact more with the content if it's from a voice that they know, specifically if it is a teacher or whatever. But there are some times where you can take the student's interest and you can find a video that's not necessarily meant for content, like this video that I'm going to share with you, and you can tie that in. So my background before I was the instructional technology coordinator here at Franklin County, I taught middle school science, and one of our standards talks about the potential and kinetic energy and physics. So I use this clip, and I'm going to share it with you in just a moment to show some potential and kinetic energy interactions that these characters were having. So here is a little clip from Toy Story, and we'll talk about how we made it relevant to the standard after it plays. All right, so it was 18 seconds, and I used to show this 3 times. Once just to get the kids' attention, because I mean, who doesn't love Toy Story? Even though they were in 6th grade, they still did love them some Toy Story. So then we'd play it, and then we would review the learning target and the key vocabulary. Then I would show this again and have the students have a post-it note or a Padlet, and every time that they saw some potential or kinetic energy being released or stored, then they would jot that down. And then we would have a whole class discussion. And then we would show it a 3rd time and have the students would watch it the 3rd time, and they would do a screencastify themselves over it to talk about where they saw potential and kinetic energy. And we would share those all out on a collaborative slide deck or a Padlet or somewhere that others could watch. And it was really a fun, interactive way for me just to determine if my students were able to determine the difference between potential and kinetic energy.